So I just wanted to show everybody something I found, some crazy thing I found. Like I went to Reddit and there's this thread about Stephen Greer because why not? Don't want to linger there. But somebody had linked to this thing called UFO Watchdog. All right. Okay. I poked around here a bit. It's a little. UFO Watchdog was started by R. Myers in approximately 1998 when the web was a new invention. This is the About Us. Myers applied his investigative talents to unmasking many UFO and paranormal frauds, such as Jonathan Rudder and Sean David Morton. I don't know who those people are. Morton sued Myers for $1 million. Myers also did seminal work on Stephen Greer. Again, here we are, and many others. So I poke around here because I'll show you where I start. Stephen Greer, vectoring UFOs for fun and profit. Reportedly plagiarizes the UFO work of others and sells it as own. Sells do-it-yourself ET contact kits. Made claims of contacting extraterrestrials through meditation. Greer is probably most famous for his Disclosure Project. His famous press conference, available on his site in the summer of 2001, brought many witnesses before the microphone to ask for congressional hearings on the subject of UFOs. Like, this has been going on for friggin' for like friggin' 80 years of 70, 80 years of, oh, the government's lying to us about UFOs. And it's like a thing now because someone a few years ago had leaked these 3 Pentagon UFO videos. And then just recently the Pentagon was like, oh, yeah, this is a thing. Like, fundamentally, it doesn't mean anything. Just doesn't. And, but a bunch of people are attaching all of this substance to it. Like, oh, we're finally going to have disclosure. The government is finally admitting to UFOs being a thing. And for one, I feel like they've been doing that pretty consistently, like once maybe every few years that they admit to this. And then it fades away again, and then it all comes back. It happened in the UK once, I think in like 2012 or something like that. Just because like someone had released all these documents of supposedly about UFOs, but it's really just like a shitload of letters of people asking about UFOs. Some of them sent in by kids. Like, who the hell is doing this? Why are you having your kids send in your UFO request thing? Why are we having kids do anything? Why are we like, oh, my 8-year-old is so woke? Why is that a thing? But we'll get there. I don't know if we'll ever get there, actually. Why is it a thing? I don't know. Anyways, this is where I started on the website UFO Watchdog. And this is, they've got Greer's extraterrestrial entity thing, and it turns out it's a freaking moth chilling, doing moth things for moth reasons. Not to be outdone, Greer also claims he has developed a 0-point energy device. Fuck me running. Fuck me running. That can be held in one hand. So it's cheap as fuck? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? And is capable of powering small cities. Is capable of powering this fucking handheld thing, your fucking cell phone. Okay, I believe that maybe your cell phone can power something from like the 80s for forever, just because of how technology works. But and you've got your like little pocket computer, basically can do all these amazing things. But press X to doubt. His website for this venture is Advanced Energy Research Organization, ARROW. Okay. Which claims such technologies have been brutally suppressed by big oil, nasty government, and assorted other villains. This, by the way, is the gentleman who coined the term petrofascist. Put a pin in that. Just bear that in mind the more you learn about this man. It is supposed to be available real soon now, any day, right around the corner, imminently. And in the meantime, you can surely invest in this technology, which will make you insanely rich. Wait a minute. Big energy bad, but 0-point good. And if you make a shitload of money doing the zero energy thing, you're morally superior than like an oil magnate. Or actually, I was gonna say the Saudi government, but that isn't very hard. I'll be honest. After 10 years, Arrow and its predecessors have not generated one single watt of electricity, but Greer has held one of these devices in his hands just as he has held an alien baby in his arms. Just as he has held an alien baby in his arms. I want that story. Where the hell is that story? Oh, is this the tiny, this is like the friggin' 6-inch long mummy that was a person riddled with birth defects. Because accidents of the human condition. Yes, this is where I started. I clicked on the Hall of Fame first because I was curious what something called UFO Watchdog would consider credible. So, the Hall of Fame. Jeremy Clark, he did the UFO book, the Encyclopedia of... It's literally right here. Encyclopedia of the Extraterrestrial. Really good, I think. Richard Dolan. Okay. Stanton Friedman, maybe. Dr. Hynek, interesting. Bud Hopkins. Okay, come with me again. Oops. Come with me again. Let's see. Is this it? Don't think so. Let's do it this way. Abductology implodes. This is an older one. But this is where I found... There's an article written by Hopkins's wife and ex-wife now. Carol Rainey's long and revealing article is here. It's called The Priests of High Strangeness by co-creation of the alien abduction phenomenon by Carol Rainey, and she was/is his wife. I can't recall right now, but she talked a lot about, because she was behind the camera and she was hearing all these crazy stories that Bud Hopkins' hypnosis patients were telling him. So she was hearing all this crazy nonsense. Emma Woods claimed that one of Hopkins's colleagues/buddies was sexually inappropriate with her. And she got to thinking, like, okay, what if there's more of this? And it's like telling this entire story. She talks about some of the inconsistencies. There was this one gentleman, he claimed that he had 2 PhDs and that he was the marketing director for Hitachi. And she's asking like all these questions like, okay, which universities did you get the PhDs from? What kind of marketing director was he? Why is he like not like any other marketing director she has ever met? I don't know how many she has ever met, but if she has met a few, there is some grounds for comparison. This is a good article. I recommend it. It just goes on into like, okay, what is the method and like all the holes in the whole thing. All of the holes. Back to Hall of Fame here. We've got Bud Hopkins is coming soon, except this whole website is archived now. George Knapp is on the Hall of Fame list, and put a pin in this. I'm gonna get back to it. Kevin Randall, Fife Symington. Okay, that's the Hall of Fame. That's I guess what we can expect going forward. The Hall of Shame list had to be divided into thirds. We have in A through G no mention of George Adamski, but there's a whole PDF book on that available online for free. Really good read. Recommend. We've got Art Bell on the Hall of Shame. We've got Stephen Greer, of course. Who else is on here that I've heard of? The Alien Autopsy. Let's see. In H. O. We've got Richard Hoagland, George Knapp in the Hall. It made him famous, and like he's been pretty much in this whole thing ever since. Bob Lazar is BS, but George Knapp is not. Curiouser and curiouser. John Lear. Coming soon, except it isn't. Billy Meyer, a contactee. There's a Billy Meyer, but no George Adamski. George Noory, who is the host of Coast to Coast FM. All night. P through Z, we've got Stan Romanic, a child predator and noted repeat. James Randi, the Amazing Randy, the magician who is in Psy-Cop, which is now CSI. Michael Sala, who is that guy is Exopolitics, I think. Let's check. Dr. Mike Sala has a PhD from the University of Queensland in Australia in Government Affairs, where he specialized in conflict resolution. He wound up as assistant professor for the Center for Global Peace at American University. Which one? When his activities involving exopolitics became popular, the university in 1994 no longer wanted to be associated with him. I cannot blame them. Timothy Good, chemtrails are probably responsible for the dying off of bees. How did we get here? There are at least 150,000 human-looking aliens living in the United States, 30,000 in California alone. Okay, this reminds me of this time that David Wilcock went off on some YouTube channel, some milk toast conspiracy YouTube channel, and he was saying shit like Paradise, California was where all these peaceful Centaurians, I think he was saying, all the Centaurians were coming to live in. They had some kind of embassy town in Paradise, California, and the Cabal, because he thinks there's an alliance. Which is the good guys, and a Cabal, which is the bad guys. And he thinks the Cabal. Sala believes the Eisenhower-Holloman Air Force Base incident, which was witnessed by over 500 people, where Eisenhower met the aliens. He initiated his Atoms for Peace program, which was rejected by the Russians. It's funny how the aliens are always talking about topical shit to Earth relative to Earth history, like they know everything about what's going on. Funny that. There is a film of this meeting which many people have seen. All witnesses have been sworn to secrecy. Okay. Sala believes there are 16 races involved with earthly affairs. Some have been involved with government, some working independently. Some have evil intentions, some are good. The tall whites. The tall whites are the guys in charge. This is what, I guess a semi-ordinary person would call the Nordic-looking ones that are literally a Nazi's wet dream made flesh. That's it. That's what they look like. They look like a Nazi propaganda poster come to life. And they're the good guys. Okay, then. Anyways, that's Michael Sala. We are back knee-deep in our Hall of Shame. Ray Santilli, who did the alien autopsy film, but I think it was a purposeful hoax. Maybe that one was purposeful. Let's see. Fife Symington is in both. Okay. Prophet Yahweh. Okay. That's the Hall of Fame. That's the Hall of Fame at this time. Please do not contact the website. Currently, a blog is in place. There is a blog. Let us check out the blog. Here is the blog. Here we go. First of all, I love this banner cartoon. This UFO has, caught this person pissing in a field. I love it. First entry, March 10th of 2020. So this is a fairly active blog. Fairly active. Well-known UFO physical evidence specialist passes. Ted Phillips, 1942 to 2020. So he's lived a good long life. I received word today that Ted Phillips has passed away and has been experiencing health problems over the last year or so, as happens to old people, and began Ted was born in 1942 and began investigating UFOs in 1964, eventually working alongside Dr. J. Allen Hynek for nearly 20 years. Having vigorously investigated over 600 UFO cases, Ted focused on trace evidence cases at the suggestion of Dr. Hynek and was the director of the Center for Physical Trace Research. Ted's trace evidence files contain over 5,000 UFO landing cases worldwide. The last entry, the entry underneath that is June 16th, 2019. So maybe not as active as I thought. The alleged Eric Davis notes, I'm not a rabid believer, says the author of this blog. I'm not a diehard skeptic. I do not promote any of the various schools of thought concerning UFOs. I do not promote swamp gas type explanations. Hynek goofed, a fairly famous goof, investigating a UFO, I think landing in a body of water, and he attributed it to swamp gas. I think it was actually a lantern or something. It was some combination of fireball and lantern, something to that effect. I think that's what it was. But he said it was swamp gas, and that got him so much ridicule. And I kind of wonder if that was a factor in, slowly becoming more of a believer. I kind of wonder if that was, a peer pressure thing that happened. In which case, kind of sucks, and peer pressure is bad, mostly. Maybe. I don't want to say that outright, because, you can peer pressure people away from, harmful things. Or you can try. Anyways. Some of these observations and experiences can be explained. Others simply lack any reasonable explanation. Or I've read in a book, or maybe the explanation hasn't been found yet because, records are lost and nobody can remember for shit. And just things get lost in the web of time, into the timey-wimey. They just leave. They flitter away. I do not promote conspiratorial babble, and I do not belong to any pro or con UFO organization. I appreciate this. I have been interested in the UFO topic since 1994, after twice observing two different objects within close proximity in the same week, among some other unusual things I've witnessed. Okay, damn it. This thing here can relate. Totally can relate. I do not make a living from UFOs, nor does the subject generate any sort of income for me. I feel this puts me in a rare position. I do not. Oh my god, this clip art. Let's see if we can get this bigger. Okay, I appreciate the clip art. I'm gonna save that. Save image. We're saving this. We're totally saving this. UFO cache. This is going into. We're gonna put this in pictures. Just that's amazing. That is amazing. I'm keeping it. I don't have to worry about being ostracized from UFO conferences, swayed by others, or finding myself unable to pay my bills. Not that it would stop me from speaking my mind and pointing out bullshit to begin with. And there is a lot of bullshit in the UFO field. Hard agree. Hard agree. I mean, seriously. Come on, you guys. It gets very frustrating seeing claims of smoking gun evidence become nothing more than a puff of smoke from a cap gun that misfired. I'm talking about the so-called UFO leak of the century Richard Dolan has been promoting. That's that guy from the Hall of Shame, from the Watchdog blog, or the website, the Watchdog website. A copy of some typewritten notes and a letter hit the internet with no direct source or detail of where they originated. One person came forward saying he leaked the documents, but the original source remains unknown. The documents are supposedly notes taken by Dr. Eric W. Davis in 2002 during an alleged meeting with Navy Vice Admiral Thomas Wilson, who's retired, and he's pictured right here. Handsome-looking fellow. I'm impressed. MJ-12 and so on. MJ-12 hit the internet. That might actually be pre-internet. MJ-12 might be pre-internet. Let me check. J-12 is a purported organization. There's books about it. Good Lord. The organization claimed to be a code name of alleged secret committee of scientists, military leaders, and government officials formed in 1947. The concept of Majestic 12 emerged during a period in the 1980s when ufologists believed there had been a cover-up of the Roswell incident and speculated some secretive upper tier of the United States government was responsible. Their suppositions appeared to be confirmed in 1984 when ufologist Jamie Shandera. Am I mispronouncing that? Is he Mexican? Is that like Jaime Shandera or something? Because there's a Jaime Maussan, and he's like the Alex Jones south of the border. Showed images of 8 pages of documents that appeared to be briefing papers describing Operation Majestic 12. The documents purported to reveal a secret committee of 12 supposedly authorized by United States President Harry S. Truman in 1952 and explain how the crash of an alien spacecraft at Roswell in July of 1947 had been concealed and how the recovered alien technology could be exploited. Okay, this reminds me of another thing. There is another set of papers that I think is, let me try to find it. Let me see. Let me see. UFO Investigations Manual from Amazon. Christ. It was a leaked Secco. It was a leaked, allegedly a leaked document that was a procedure for how to handle a UFO crash. That was the whole thing of it was supposed to be like how the government was covering up shit like Roswell and Kecksburg and all of that other stuff. Psalm 101 Majestic Documents. This is a PDF. We have found the PDF, you guys. This is a pleasant surprise. 14 pages, not bad. Restricted. Psalm 1-01, Majestic 12 Group Special Operations Manual, Extraterrestrial Entities and Technology Recovery and Disposable, Top Secret / Magic Eyes Only. Magic is spelled with a J. Warning, this is a top secret, magic eyes only document containing compartmentalized information essential to the national security of the United States. Eyes only access to the material herein is restricted, limited to personnel possessing Magic 12 clearance level. Examination or use by unauthorized personnel is strictly forbidden and is punishable by federal law. Guys, you may never see me again. That is blurry as hell. Okay, what is this? Removal and or replacement. Attached to the document requires authorization records officer for each instance. Pages. Okay, so I guess what this is when you take out the pages or update them, this whole thing is tracked, or at least up until when this was supposedly leaked. Oh, this is much clearer, thank goodness. Extraterrestrial recovery and disposal, a table of contents. How very handy. Project purpose and goals, introduction, general definition and data, recovery operations, security, technology recovery, receiving and handling upon receipt of material. Does this involve like a hazmat suit? Because we're assuming this is from like outer space. Maybe it's irradiated to hell and back. What if it's like made of something toxic or whatever else? Extraterrestrial, biological, and living organisms, poor bastards, non-living organisms, God rest their souls. Guide to UFO identification. That's an episode of Ancient Fucking Aliens. Good grief. Wow. UFOB guide. What the fuck? UFOB. Portuguese. Okay. That might not get me anywhere. Identification criteria, possible origins. What, like Zeta Reticuli? References, forms, Magic 12 group personnel, and photographs. Project purpose and goals, scope. Item 1, scope. This manual has been prepared especially for Majestic 12 units. Okay. It's magic on like the first 2 pages, spelled with a J. Now it's majestic, in which case there must be a reason for this. Its purpose is to present all aspects of Majestic 12 so authorized personnel will have better understanding of the goals of the group, be able to more expertly deal with unidentified flying objects, extraterrestrial technology and entities, and increase the efficiency of future operations. Part 2, General. MJ-12 takes the subject of UFOBs, extraterrestrial technology, and extraterrestrial biological entities very seriously and considers the entire subject to be a matter of the highest national security. I mean, it kind of was at the time because we thought it was all Soviet. Damn commies. For that reason, everything related to the subject has been assigned the very highest security classification. 3 main points will be covered in this section. The general aspects of MJ-12 to clear up any misconceptions that anyone may have. Do we have misconceptions? The importance of the operations. The need for absolute secrecy in all phases of operation. Well, 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead. I'm just saying. 3, security classification. All information relating to MJ-12 has been classified Magic Eyes only and carries a security level 2 points above that of top secret. I'm just idly curious. Classified information in the United States. Levels of classification used by the U.S. government. Restricted and formerly restricted data. Let's see. This is where we want to be. Code word classifications. Top secret is the highest level of classification. However, some information is compartmentalized by adding a code word so that only those who have been cleared for each code word can see it. This information is also known as sensitive compartmented information, or SCI. A document marked secret code word in parentheses and that specific code word clearance. I think. It's top secret, but it's code word clearance, specifically speaking. Each code word deals with a different kind of information. The CIA administers code word clearances. So they would know. You've got top secret at the very top here. You've got secret right below it. Confidential. This is the lowest classification level obtained by the government. There's public trust. A public trust position is not as secure as any clearance and is not the same as a confidential clearance. Certain positions which require access to sensitive information but not to information which is classified must obtain this designation through a background check. Public trust positions can either be moderate risk or high risk. And then there's unclassified. This is the default and refers to information that can be released to individuals without a clearance. You know, like, who works where? Who's the president? That kind of stuff. Information that is unclassified is sometimes restricted in its dissemination as sensitive but unclassified, or SBU, or for official use only, FOUO. The law enforcement bulletins reported by the U.S. media when the United States Department of Homeland Security raised the U.S. terror threat level were usually classified, unclassified, law enforcement sensitive. All right. That's pretty much it. Classified classifications. Meta. Executive Order 13526, which forms the legal basis for the U.S. classification system, states that information may be classified at one of the following 3 levels. Top secret is the highest one. However, this executive order provides for special access programs that further restrict access to a small number of individuals and permit additional security measures. So magic would be one of this, or like a code word kind of thing. These practices can be compared with and may have inspired the concepts of multi-level security and role-based access control. U.S. law also has special provisions protecting information related to cryptography, nuclear weapons and atomic energy, and the identity of covert intelligence agents. All right, so that's about where we stand. Let's see. 2 points about that, a top secret. That's not really accurate, but yeah, not really. The reason for this has to do with the consequences that may arise not only from the impact upon the public should the existence of such matters become general knowledge. If coronavirus has proven anything, people are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals as a collective. But also the danger of having such advanced technology as has been recovered by the Air Force fall into the hands of unfriendly foreign powers. Christ, what a sentence. No information is released to the public press, and the official government position is that no special group such as MJ-12 exists. 4. History of the group. Operation Majestic 12 was established by special classified presidential order on 24 September 1947 at the recommendation of Secretary of Defense James V. Forrestal and Dr. Vannevar Bush, chairman of the Joint Research and Development Board. Operations Armament Intelligence Group, directly responsible only to the President of the United States. The goals of the MJ-12 group are as follows. Recovery for scientific study of all materials and devices of a foreign or extraterrestrial manufacture that may become available. Such material and devices will be recovered by any and all means deemed necessary by the group. The recovery for scientific study of all entities and remains of entities not of terrestrial origin which may become available through independent action by those entities or by misfortune or military action. Great, you killed the aliens, you bastards! The establishment and administration of special teams to accomplish the above operations, the establishment and administration of special secure facilities located at secret locations, Storm Area 51, within the continental borders of the United States for the receiving, processing, analysis, and scientific study of any and all material and entities classified as being of extraterrestrial origin by the group or the special teams. Okay, so there's more than 12 assholes in this group, but the special teams, I guess, probably don't know more than a handful of those assholes. E is establishment and administration of covert operations to be carried out in concert with Central Intelligence to effect the recovery for the United States of extraterrestrial technology and entities which may come down inside the territory of or fall into the possession of foreign powers. That's not going to hold together very long. The establishment and maintenance of absolute top secrecy concerning all of the above operations. Okay. It is considered, 5, current situation. It is considered, as far as the current situation is concerned, that there are few indications that these objects and their builders pose a direct threat to the security of the United States. So what the fuck are you still doing? Despite the uncertainty as to their ultimate motives in coming here. Can't you assume they're peaceful? Like, maybe they want to study us or something? Certainly, the technology possessed by these beings far surpasses anything known to modern science, yet their presence here seems to be benign, and they seem to be avoiding contact with our species, at least for the present. Fucking look at us. Several dead entities have been recovered, along with a substantial amount of wreckage and device study at various locations. No attempt has been made by extraterrestrial entities to either contact, even though one of the crashes was the result of direct military action. There is a giant hole there. The greatest threat at this time arises from the acquisition and study of such advanced technology by foreign powers unfriendly to the United States. It is for this reason that the recovery and study of this type of material by the United States has been given such a high priority. Chapter 2, Introduction. Section 1, General. 6, Scope. This operations manual is published for the information and guidance of all concerned. It contains information on determination, documentation, collection, and disposition of debris, devices, craft, and occupants of such craft as defined as extraterrestrial technology or extraterrestrial biological entities. Finally, we get the short one, EBEs, in Section 2 of this chapter. Appendix 1-1A contains a list of current references, including technical manuals and other available publications applicable to these operations. Appendix 2 contains a list of personnel who comprise the Majestic 12 group. This is supposed to be a secret, and you publish this information into a book, which someone can leak. Take a minute. 7. Forms and records. Forms used for reporting operations are listed in Appendix 1. Section 2, Definition and Data. 8. General. Extraterrestrial technology is defined as follows: aircraft identified as not manufactured in the United States or any terrestrial foreign power, including experimental military or civilian aircraft. Aircraft in this category are generally known as unidentified flying objects, UFOs. Fucking finally, that was bugging me. Such aircraft may appear as one of several shapes and configurations and exhibit extraordinary flight characteristics. Objects and devices of unknown origin or function manufactured by processes or of materials not consistent with current technology or scientific knowledge. Wreckage of any aircraft thought to be of extraterrestrial manufacture or origin. Such wreckage may be the result of accidents or military action. Current technology. I guess that means inconsistent with current technology. Materials that exhibit unusual or extraordinary characteristics not consistent with current technology or scientific knowledge. Extraterrestrial biological entities, EBE, are described as creatures, humanoid or otherwise, because we have to be inclusive, whose evolutionary processes responsible for their development is demonstrably different from those postulated or observed by Homo sapiens. Description of craft. I'm going to give you the Ancient Aliens episode in what looks to be a page of text. Documented extraterrestrial craft, UFOBs, I'm just going to stick with UFOs personally, are classified in one of four categories based on general shape as follows: elliptical or disc shape. This type of craft is of a metallic construction and dull aluminum in color. They have the appearance of two pie pans or shallow dishes pressed together and may have a raised dome on top or bottom. This is a classic flying saucer. No seams or joints are visible on the surface, giving the impression of one-piece construction. Discs are estimated from 50 to 300 feet in diameter, and the thickness is approximately 15% of that diameter. There might be some small-ass aliens. Not including the dome, which is 30% of the disc diameter and extends another 4 to 6 feet above the main body of the disc. The dome on the lower rim of the disc in some instances. Most disc-shaped craft are equipped with lights on the top and bottom and also around the rim. These lights are not visible when the craft is at rest or not functioning. There are generally no visible antenna or projections. Landing gear consists of 3 extendable legs ending in circular landing pads. When fully extended, this landing gear supports the main body 2 to 3 feet above the surface at the lowest point. A rectangular hatch is located along the equator or on the lower surface of the disc. Fuselage or cigar-shaped. Documented reports of this type of craft are extremely rare. The Air Force radar reports indicated they are approximately 2,000 feet long and 95 feet thick. And apparently they do not operate in the lower atmosphere. Very little information is available on the performance of these craft, but radar reports have indicated speeds in excess of 1,000 miles per hour. They do not appear to engage in the violent and erratic maneuvers associated with the smaller types. Ovoid or circular shape. This type of craft is described as being shaped like an ice cream cone, being rounded at the large end, tapering into a rear end point and a near point at the other end. They are approximately 30 to 40 feet long and thick, and diameter is approximately 20% of that length. There is who the fuck sees this? Who the fuck sees these things? Inquiring minds want to know. Airfoil or triangular shape. The triangle, the new classic. Part 10, description of extraterrestrial biological entities. Aliens! We've reached the good stuff. Type 1 are humanoid and might be mistaken for human beings of the Oriental race. Oh my god, this is so dated. Wow. Wow. Type 2, 25 to 50 pounds. Proportionally, the head is much larger, the cranium being larger and a long one. Description of extraterrestrial technology. Image collected from crash sites of extraterrestrial craft 1947 to 1953, excerpts from which are quoted verbatim to provide guidance as to the type and characteristics. Initial analysis of the debris from the crash site seems to indicate that the debris is that of an extraterrestrial craft which exploded from within and came into contact with the ground with great force, completely destroying the craft. Why the hell are aliens having all these mechanical failures in their ships? The volume of matter indicates that the craft was approximately the size of a medium aircraft, although the weight of the debris indicates the craft was extremely light for its size. Okay. Metallurgical analysis of the bulk of the debris recovered indicates that the samples are not composed of any material currently known to terrestrial science. The material tested possesses great strength and resistance to heat in proportion to its weight and size, despite being stronger by far than any materials used in military. Much of the material having the appearance of aluminum foil or aluminum magnesium sheeting displays none of the characteristics of either metal, resembling instead some kind of unknown plastic-like material. Okay. Okay. They did something like that once. They talked about that at some point. I can't remember which UFO show on the History Channel, but now that it's all ancient aliens all the time, it shouldn't be hard to find it again. It will crop up eventually. Just watch. Solid structures and substantial beams having a distinct similarity in appearance to a very dense grain-free wood was very light in weight and possesses tensile and compression strength not obtainable by any means known to modern industry. This is how you fund your operation, okay? Is this shit, you reverse engineer it, you figure out how it works, and you sell that to companies, to like builders and aerospace manufacturers. You sell that to them, and you make a fucking mint. You improve the world regardless of whether aliens are a thing or not, or whether the public knows. But like, you make a mint, it's all good. It's all good. None of the material tested displays measurable magnetic characteristics or residual radiation. Why? Several samples were engraved or embossed with marks and patterns. These patterns were not readily identifiable, and attempts to decipher their meaning have been largely unsuccessful. I should do one of these on alien writing at some point. Examination of several apparent mechanical devices, gears, etc. revealed little or nothing of their functions or methods of manufacture. Recovery operations. Press blackout. Official denial, discredit witnesses, deceptive statements. Secure the area. Shouldn't that be done first? Perimeter, command post. Sweep. Some of these are so blurry, I hate it. Removal and transport. Documentation. Okay, good. Complete or functional craft. Extreme caution. Here's an order form. Okay, so this is the last page, I guess, of the supposed SOM leaks. That was longer than I expected. Anyways, you get an order form at the very end where you can like tick all these boxes. It's like a really old school thing. You tick all these boxes and you mail it somewhere with your like your check, and then you wait for a while until you get your product. So I'm gonna save this because that was kind of cool. Kind of hard to read, but cool. That was the SOM leaks that I was reminded of because of MJ12, because of UFO Watchdog, because of Stephen Greer on Reddit. Here we are. We are back on the Watchdog blog. There have been rumors floating around that these documents were supposedly shared with a small group of people. Okay, so we are talking about a collection of notes by a guy named Eric W. Davis. And he met with a Navy Vice Admiral who is now retired. The documents are being touted as proof positive that Admiral Wilson had dug around for UFO information in 97 after a meeting with UFO advocates, though Wilson acknowledged the 97 meeting, but denied the story surrounding it as told by none other than UFO nut Stephen Greer. Stephen Greer. This man has his fingers in so many fucking pies. I can't believe it. Core secrets. Among the so-called core secrets note is the letter alleged to be from Navy Commander Willard Miller. Fuck me running. Retired. Who is also mentioned in the notes. In the 2-page letter addressed to Davis, Miller expresses his willingness to help Davis and Hal Puthoff place them in contact with people he believes might help them with their UFO inquiry. Miller offers his assistance at the going rate of $180 an hour. Wow. Wow. This is the man himself. This is Eric W. Davis, an astrophysicist. This is the man himself. This is Richard Dolan. He comes up a lot too. And here we get a meme. We get a nice, tasty meme. The moment you hear about a new UFO leak, but then you find out Richard Dolan is involved. May 14th, 2019, Stanton Friedman has passed away at the age of 84. Those darn orbs. Spirit orbs. Spirit orbs, everybody. Ball lightning. Be Witness, May 5th, 2019. Jaime Maussan. This is the guy I mentioned. I should have said put a pin in it, but I didn't know this was going to come up. A mere 4 years ago today, an event advertised as one that would change history was held in Mexico City, Mexico. This is the day the notorious Be Witness took place. And we were indeed witness. Okay, so this is from 2015. UFO personalities gave presentations at this pay-per-view of... Okay, so this entire thing, I remember reading a discussion about this entire thing was pay-per-view and streamed online, except the streaming was such shit that no one could finish it. Tickets were sold to thousands in attendance. We were told scientists analyzed the slides. This is the Roswell slides thing. The words compelling and fascinating were used to promote the slides. Okay, so some guy, some random on the internet, had enhanced one of the slides, and it was a plaque in a museum. It was a little it was like a mummy or something. It was some kind of preserved body of a child, is what it turned out to be. And he had photo enhanced this plaque some kind of way that you can pretty much do for free or very low cost. Yeah, mummified body of 2-year-old boy is how it had shaped out. April 29th, 2019. This is about the Pentagon videos, Attack of the UFO shows, Roswell mysteries decoded. Good grief. Good fucking grief. We ended up on a pretty well-known. Wait a minute. So I'm at the end of the page. There's a blog. There's a blog that's really something. That was not what I was expecting when I checked my Reddit today. Of interest. Oh, I didn't see this. Video of fighter pilot who encountered UFO. Chinese UFO is rocket nose. Upcoming Skinwalker Ranch documentary. Why skinwalkers? Why? Military report reveals details of Navy UFO incident. Arizona aircraft encounter UFO. F-15 scramble for Oregon UFO. Go fast video. Go fast. Harry Reid on what government known about UFOs. Sean David Morton is currently... That's what I want to fucking know. Who is this asshole? Sean David Morton is currently incarcerated for fraud. The Shameless Psychic and His Prophecy of Lies. Let's read the investigation. Oh my god, there's parts. There's parts. Okay, Morton's personal biography. Sean David Morton grew up in an aerospace family where his father, an aviator and Korean conflict fighter ace, who was also a member of the original astronaut program. Gerard Thomas Morton Jr. became the public relations director for NASA during the glory years of the Gemini Mercury Friendship Apollo programs and later retired as vice president of TRW. Family history continued. Space family. My godfather is also Harrison Jack Schmidt, who was the U.S. Navy Senator, or he's the U.S. Senator for New Mexico. Education. God. Wow. You are nothing if not thorough, good sir. Television and film? Okay. There are copies of emails. This guy here is Gene Roddenberry. What is going on in this picture? Richard Arnold pictured right at a Star Trek convention. That's the fucking creepiest Picard I have ever seen. God. Who is this asshole? Area 51, Nightmares in Dreamland. Okay. Maybe if I did this. He claims to be a psychic. That's how he bills himself. He looks like Jonathan Frakes. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing it. I'm just losing it. Let's click on the Wikipedia and see if that will save us some time. The self-described psychic and alleged remote viewer who has referred to himself as America's prophet. Until legal troubles led to his incarceration in a federal prison, he also hosted radio shows, authored books, and made documentary films. In 2010, Morton and his wife were charged with civil securities fraud. Okay. Director of the New York Regional Office of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, stated that Morton's self-proclaimed psychic powers were nothing more than a scam to attract investors and steal their money. Isn't it always? Okay. Morton uses the title doctor in formal situations such as conference presentations. The Aquarian Radio website says he received his PhD in therapeutic psychology from the International Institute of Health and Spiritual Sciences in Montreal, Canada in 2005. Between 1985 and 1996, Morton produced documentaries on subjects including the Chupacabra and Bigfoot. He also led tours around Area 51. That sounds like a fast way to get killed, my guy. Morton suggested that aliens from Area 51 were from 800 light years away. That's new. That's different. Morton was the subject of an article by the website UFO Watchdog, which we were just at. The Shameless Psychic and his Prophecy of Lies, which threw doubt on many of Morton's claims. Morton filed a lawsuit against the site for libel, but the case was dismissed. Securities fraud charges. From 1996 to 2010, Morton ran Delphi Associates newsletter. It's always Delphi, by the way. These Oracle types always use Delphi. A print and online publication in which he made economic, financial, and political predictions. In 2001, Morton predicted that the Dow Jones Industrial Average would rise to somewhere around 12,000 in December. The index actually ended at 8,341. In 2007, he founded the Delphi Investment Group. The Delphi Investment. That sounds like an MLM. I'm just saying, it sounds like an MLM. To allow investors to profit from trading in world currencies based on his predictions. How's that working for you? On March 7th, 2010, Morton and his wife Melissa were charged with civil securities fraud. He is alleged to have defrauded around 100 customers of $6 million between 2006 and 2007. That's ballsy. According to the SEC, only a fraction of the money received by Morton went into foreign exchange trading accounts, with the rest diverted into shell companies run by Morton and his wife. What, he didn't buy a yacht? In 2009, Morton attempted to file suit against the SEC for harassment, but the suit was dismissed. Okay. In February 2013, Morton was ordered by a judge to pay $11.5 million to the SEC within 14 days. Good Lord. U.S. federal criminal tax convictions. Well, we're neck deep in this monster. Morton and his wife Melissa were arrested on January 31st, 2016. After being charged with 51 counts of issuing false instruments, 4 counts of filing false federal income tax documents, and 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the Internal Revenue Service. The poor bastards at the IRS. The latter charge was originated because the Mortons filed several tax returns claiming refunds due to non-existent overpayments. In one such case, the IRS failed to cross-check sufficiently and actually issued a check for $480,323, which the Mortons immediately transferred into other accounts. They faced up to 650 and 625 years in federal prison, respectively. Holy shit! On April 7th, 2017, Sean and Melissa Morton were found guilty of 51 charges by a federal court jury. The jury gave its verdict after only 2 hours. Sentencing was set for June 19th, 2017. The sentencing for Melissa Morton had been reset for August 21st, 2017. Sean David Morton failed to appear for his June 19th sentencing hearing. A federal arrest warrant was issued immediately. On August 21st, 2017, Morton and his wife were arrested and taken into custody. On September 18th, 2017, Sean David Morton was sentenced to 6 years in prison and was ordered to pay $480,322 in restitution to the Internal Revenue Service. The court also ordered supervised release for... Okay, so why didn't they... This is $1 short of the check they were issued, unless this is a typo somewhere. So, why didn't the IRS just go whole hog? The court also ordered supervised release for 5 years after Morton's prison term, with the condition that he shall not engage in any business involving the sale of financial instruments or providing debt relief services. On the same day, Melissa Morton was sentenced to 2 years in prison with similar conditions regarding post-release supervision, and she was ordered to pay the same restitution amount to the Internal Revenue Service. Oh, so they're going twice here. They're going for twice this, actually. Sean David Morton is incarcerated in the United States Penitentiary at Tucson, Arizona, with projected release date of November 8th, 2022. Melissa Morton served her term at the Federal Correction Institution in Victorville, California. Okay, so that was Sean David Morton. All of this from Reddit, you guys. All of this from Reddit. I guess rounds of applause. I'm done talking. That's enough.